In this video, we're going to be talking about how do you calculate the rotational inertia using integration techniques. How do we chop it up into tiny pieces? And this is super critical. This is probably one of the most important things to understand is how do you actually apply integration into real world situations, okay? And so this is a really useful skill, not just for this class, but for future ones. But we'll be talking about rods and hoops and how do you break down into little pieces so you can use an integral to then calculate the total rotational inertia. All right, so in AP Physics C, we have to be able to calculate or derive rotational inertia for other shapes of objects using integrals, okay? So if you have masses with different lengths or different densities, the way we got to think about it is, remember, for a point mass, the I is equal to mr squared. Instead, we're going to chop it up into little pieces, and each little contribution of the rotational inertia is r squared, the distance, times dm. And your goal is to chop it up into a little piece with a mass dm, and that mass needs to be the same distance away from the axis of rotation, and then multiplied by r squared, right? So that's where that is going to come into. So very similar to the way we did center of mass, where we chopped it up into little pieces to calculate it. Similar thing we're going to do here for calculating rotational inertia for objects. So let's take a look at this. We have a uniform rod of length L and mass m. Okay, so the length here is L and has a mass of m. Rotating around the center of the object has a rotational inertia. So let's show that this is true. We gave it to you in AP Physics 1, but now you have to understand why is it true. So we want to know the rotational inertia through here. Now, generally, we always want a coordinate system. I'm going to say where the axis is x equals 0. I think it's the easiest way. That way, when you chop it up into a little piece here, right, with this thing has the thickness dx, and the distance away from it is the variable x, whatever the x coordinate is. And so over here is x equals negative L over 2, and over here is x equal to L over 2. So then we say, what is the contribution of that little piece is r squared dm. What is the mass of that little piece? Well, it's a uniform density. That means our density is just mass divided by length for the length. And then the dm is going to be just like we did center of mass. If you want to review the center of mass calculations with integrals, you should go look at that. It's the density times how long it is, right? In this case, it's dx. So it's m over L dx. So then we're going to say, and then the r, what is the distance from the axis of rotation, is just x. So this is going to be x squared, and the dm is going to be m over L dx, like that. And now we're going to integrate all the way from all the pieces from negative L over x equals negative L over 2 to positive L over 2. So the m over L comes in front. This becomes x cubed over 3. And we're going to evaluate it from x equals negative L over 2 to positive L over 2. Right? So this is going to be 1/3 m over L. And it's going to be L over 2 cubed minus negative L over 2 cubed. Right? So this is 1/3 m over L. This is 1/8 L cubed minus a negative. Well, this is going to be negative L cubed over 8. So it's going to be plus L minus a negative, because when you cube a negative number, it's still negative. 1/8 plus 1/8 is 1/4 L cubed. Then we can cancel. So the 1/3 and the 1/4 will be 1/12. And then we cancel one of the L's, and we still left with L squared. So 1/12 ml squared. And so that's how you derive it. What happens? Let's take a look at a solid disk here. So if you know for a ring, so for a ring, this should be kind of more obvious. A ring of mass m and distance r, that rotational inertia is mr squared around the center of mass. Okay, but now we want to talk about a solid disk here. So something that has like a solid disk, and we want to rotate around the center of axis. Okay, so the thing about a ring is that all the masses distribute at the end, so it's just mr squared. With a solid disk, what happens is it's still the same total mass, but some of the mass is closer and some is further away. Now, how do you want to slice it up? Remember, the whole point of this thing is that every piece of the mass is the same distance away. So what we want to do is chop it up into a little ring here. A little ring that has a thickness, we'll call the thickness dr. We'll just make it, thickness of this is dr, and is located a distance r away. Okay, and so we want to think about what that is. It's going to be r squared times dm. Now, in this case, you want to do the density as an area, right? Because it's uniform density over area. Like we did a length on this one because length was an easier one to split it up, but this one's like kind of over the area. So it's going to be r squared. That's the distance of the axis. That's fine. But the mass, you want to think of it as the area density, which we usually use the word sigma, times the area of that circle. And just to be clear, the sigma density, because it's a uniform, is going to be the total mass divided by the area of this thing, like this. Okay, now what's the area of this little ring piece? Okay, if you were to snap it and unfold it, right, and unfold it, then it would be a thin piece that has a thickness dr, and the length of it would be the circumference of the circle, 2 pi r. So the area is going to be 2 pi r times dr. So this is going to be, let's replace the sigma with this thing, m over pi r squared. And then the area is going to be 2 pi r times dr. Now, careful, this r is little r because it's the actual circle, and this is big R because it's the area of the entire disk, because this is the entire mass of the disk over the total area of the disk. So be very careful on which r's you're using here. The pi's cancel, and you get something like this. Okay, so now the di is going to be r squared times dm, which is this whole expression, which is going to be 2m over r squared times r dr. And the r squared and the r becomes r cubed. And that is the contribution of that mass. Now we want to integrate it from r equals 0 for all the little rings from 0 all the way out to big R. Okay, and you're integrating the little r variable, so be careful here. Like we're integrating over this. So the 2m over big R squared is going to be a constant. This is going to be r to the 4th over 4 from little r equals 0 to big R. That's 2m over r squared. That's big R to the 4th divided by 4. Then this is going to cancel to 2. And then these are going to cancel. This is going to be squared and cancel with that guy. So you get mr squared over 2 or 1/2 mr squared, like that. Okay. Let's take a look at something when we have a non-uniform density. Let's say we have a rod here. Okay, as a non-uniform density, the lambda equals 1/3 x cubed, where x is the distance from the left end of the rod. So we'll make that x equals 0. And then we'll take a little piece in here. We want to determine the center of mass and the rotational inertia. Okay, so we're going to take a little piece of here with a length called dx. And for center of mass, remember what we're going to do is we're going to integrate the position times the mass over the total mass. And for the rotational inertia, you're just going to do r squared dm. So let's take them one at a time. So we've chopped this thing up. The distance from there to there is x. So if we do the center of mass calculation, it's going to be integral of x, and dm is just going to be the density times how long it is, lambda dx. So the dm we replace with lambda, 1/3 x cubed dx. Okay, and then over here, you're just going to integrate dm itself, which is just lambda times dx, 1/3 x cubed dx. And you're going to integrate it from x equals 0 to, I didn't say the length. Let's say the length is L. So not even wrong with and length L, capital L. So we're going to go from 0 to L, 0 to L here. Now this one, we'll pull out the 1/3. You're integrating x to the 4th dx. So we're going to do power rule for that. So it's going to be 1/3 x to the 5th over 5 from 0 to L. Right, and the denominator is going to be 1/3 x to the 4th over 4 from 0 to L. And so when you put these together, this is going to be 1/15 L to the 5th divided by 1/12 L to the 4th, right? And then we'll just cancel. That will get rid of that. And then this will be 12 over 15, 12 over 15 L. And notice this is a center of mass, so it's just a location. 12/15 L, which is divided by 3, is 4 over 4/5 L. So that's the location of the center of mass. Now, how about we do the rotational inertia? Is the r is the distance from that piece to the axis of rotation, and and the rotational inertia around the center of mass. So now we got to reposition it. The center of mass now we located is x equals 4/5 L. And now we're going to integrate, we're going to find the r. Now, I'm going to not change the axes just to keep it a little bit simple. This distance is x, but the distance to the axis of rotation is actually 4/5 L minus x, right? Because this whole thing is 4/5 L, and then the distance from the to the axis of rotation, that's our r, is going to be 4/5 L minus x. So don't just plug in x all the time. It depends on your axes. So that's my r squared. And then dm is just lambda times dx, and that's 1/3 x cubed times dx, because that's our lambda, that's our dx there. And so now we're going to integrate this, also cutting off the slices from 0 to L here. So then how would you do this integral? You can always use a calculator, or let's see, let's just FOIL this thing out. You can't really do a u substitution. You could, yeah, I mean, I think the easiest thing is just FOIL this thing out. So this is going to be 16 over 25 L squared minus 8/5 Lx plus x squared times 1/3 x cubed dx. Ooh, this is going to be kind of ugly. Let's pull out the 1/3 and then distribute the x cubed. So then it's going to be 16 over 25 L squared x cubed minus 8 over 5 Lx to the 4th plus x to the 5th dx. And then we're going to now do the power rule. 16 over 25 L squared x to the 4th over 4 minus 8/5 L x to the 5th over 5 plus x to the 6th over 6th from x equals 0 to L. And then let's plug that in. So we get kind of an ugly number. Okay, so let's do a little bit of simplification here. This will make that 4. That will make that 25, and then that will be fine. Okay, so then we'll have 4/25 L to the 4th times L squared is L to the 6th. And then minus 8 over 25. 5 times 5 is 25. L times L to the 5th is going to be L to the 6th also. And then plus 1/6 L to the 6th. Okay, and then when you plug in 0, you just get 0. So then let's just use a calculator to calculate this. This is going to be 1 over 3 times 4 over 25 minus 8 over 25 plus 1 over 6. And I get 1 over 450 L to the 6th. Okay? Now, might have had some arithmetic mistakes in there. I didn't double check the math. But overall, you can see the process. You want to chop it up into little pieces, right? And then calculate the r, the distance to the axes, have a coordinate system, use the dm, whichever is the most strategic one, and then integrate it there. If you found this video helpful, come check out our school community. It's got an amazing bunch of features. It's got extra videos, corrected videos, better than the ones that I have errors on YouTube. It's got multiple choice free response questions. I hold live Q&A sessions and go through more problems and I answer students' questions, help with schoolwork, all kinds of things. If you want to check it out, look in the description below or check out the website and find us in the school community. You get a 7-day free trial to give it a shot, just to check it out, see what it's like, come join some calls, and honestly, come learn AP Physics 1 even faster with us.